Welcome to another Never Have I Ever. This is number 21, and we have the best crew yet this week. I'm so excited to introduce these superstars to all of you at home. On this side, she has her own Facebook Live show every day at 5 p.m. It's called Sue TV. You've also seen her on the Chip Chipperson Show, Compound Media. She's everywhere. Sue Costello! Yay!
Yeah.
Gotta get an applause sound effect. I say that every week. And on the opposite side here, you've seen him on Access TV, Gotham Comedy Live, AJ Foster. Woo! And in the Alice Square in the middle here, his album Impossible Human is available right now. That's right, comedy album. Joe Fernandes.
Yeah.
And on this side, I just did his show. It's called the Cassius Morris Show. It's an amazing, check it all out. And guess what? His name is Cassius Morris.
What's up?
Woo! And on the
There's
opposite
lack of
side,
enthusiasm for the
his
Canadian
show,
right there.
well, because he's new. We all know each other except for him, but we're going to get to know him in this show. And on the opposite side, his podcast is Making Podcasts Great Again. It's Jay Nog.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, and she's in her bathroom. You've seen her at Comedy Central, clubs and colleges. She's wearing hair extensions, crushing it. Chablis Quaterman.
Thank you. Woo!
Twirling them around. I have hair extensions too. I just like I don't know. My hair is always dirty, and the extensions are always clean, so it's like it's obvious that it's not my hair. But taking a shower is the key to fixing that. And in the other corner, he's an amazing photographer. I'm gonna go ahead and say like the best comedy photographer in New York City. And he's a comic. JT Anderson.
Woo!
Guys, real quick, for those viewing at home who have never seen the show, this is Never Have I Ever. We're going to be sharing stories. You'll say like, hey, never have I ever drank hot sauce. And then if you've done the thing, you take a drink. If you haven't done the thing, don't take a drink. And then we'll go around the room. We'll go around the Zoom room and tell the story of the thing. And then we'll have fun and we'll get to know each other and we'll be best friends. That's how it goes. Again, if you don't drink, you don't have to drink. We had one relapse so far on on this show. We're not gonna do another one. One's enough. And yeah, we're gonna have fun. As you guys think of what you're gonna do for your turn, I'm gonna go. Never have I ever run out of toilet paper in the bathroom and then had to make do.
That's a good one. Wait, so we drink if we haven't done. I forget.
Trying to think of the time.
Mine was
Animals. Oh, you animals.
Mine really could have gone. I mean, I didn't by make do. I didn't mean like make duty per se. I mean that could be an interpretation. But yes, if you've done it, drink.
Okay.
So
Drink again?
everyone
I
is,
think I have. I'm
everyone
just
is-
going to take a drink.
I've never been through
I'll
that
drink
struggle. Come
twice because I've probably done it twice.
that's the sound of everyone
done
in
it
the Zoom
more than twice.
losing respect for me. Yeah. So whenever this happens, which is every once in a while, you get to the bathroom, home or outside the home, and there'll just be nothing left on the roll. And it's an old Girl Scout trick. You actually take the roll off the holder. And
you wipe with the roll?
You can pretty much get by, unless there's something really horrible went down, you can pretty much get by with wiping with the roll. And you just, turn it. And
basically made it the same thing without paper.
you basically make do.
You see, usually I'm home when this happens, and I just get a wash rag and some soap. I'm not wiping my ass with cardboard, Chrissie.
Well,
There's options.
like I said before, we were poor. No.
They were low on ice cream sandwiches and wash rags.
Yeah, ice cream sandwiches were a big deal. We didn't have a good grasp of what to do with toilet paper growing up. I even remember my sister way back when she would take her hand and roll the toilet paper all around her hand like she was Edward toilet paper hands, and that's how she would wipe herself. Which
How
is
do you know this, Chrissie? How do you know this, Chrissie?
Because we shared a room growing up. Like, we just like we would go to the
I'll take
bathroom.
it.
And that's why there was never any tissue left for you.
Yes. She's wrapping up whole body parts with it. It was too much. Yeah, exactly. You know what? That's probably why we were running out over there. Damn, now I'm mad at her. All right, well.
Is this triggering now?
A little triggering. Yeah, and especially with the COVID stuff. I mean, that, the toilet paper shortage, that was triggering too. I was like, why are we all just shitting more? I mean, if I say anything else, I'm just going to go into every hack joke that every comedian, oh, are we shitting more? It's like, I already wish I could take it back. Okay. Someone else needs to go. And, Chablis, I'm picking you.
Never have I ever shagged a Mormon.
No. Where do you even get one?
Where
Where do we even find one?
I don't think I ever met him.
Nevada, because they're all in Utah, and then they come to Las Vegas and try to convert everybody.
Oh, right. Chablis, you just moved to Vegas.
Yeah, and apparently, like, Mormons settled Vegas. Like, who would have put those two together? I would not have put the two.
No, never. What are Mormons like in bed?
Oh, like Mormons. It's like you would imagine.
I feel like that's a big notch in your belt. It's kind of like a gay dude landing a straight guy. Like if you're a normal person, you can land a Mormon. That's a pretty big notch.
I felt like I corrupted him. I felt accomplished by the end.
Did he have the special underwear on? Did he have the special Mormon underwear on?
Oh, I got in bed. I got in bed naked, and he was with all his clothes on. And I was like, so, like, do you want to do this? Like, why do you have clothes on? And he was like, I want you to take them off. And I was standing there, like, taking his shirt off. I said, I feel like I'm with my toddler. Like, this is not sexy.
Wait, are you sure he was a Mormon or just lazy?
I think both. No,
you do it.
It was not.
I don't know if he called afterwards. Did he call you after?
No.
Did he expect you to call?
No, he actually gave me a courtesy text that he didn't like me.
Oh, wow.
What a dick!
Oh,
You did not undress me properly.
Yes, it was the disrobing that got him.
Well, the issue was I was really fucked up. So I was invited to a bottomless brunch, which is no good. Like if I start pickling myself early, I will make an ass of myself all through the night. Like I started at like noon. So we had like bottles of champagne, and he texted me and he's like, I have an event tonight if you want to come out. And I was like, cool, fuck it, whatever.
How did you meet this Mormon?
On Tinder. Oh, he's a former Mormon. He has 5 children, it turns out.
I was gonna say he's
5
not a real
kids.
Mormon.
I know, and his wife is like a real blonde, like not like my extensions. And she's like this skinny, and like she has 5 fucking kids who would never know. I'm just not his type. I just don't fucking even look anything like his wife. It's just weird.
But you know
and
what?
I want to tie my tubes immediately. Huh?
She probably has a huge vagina. So you know what I mean? 5 kids.
But he had the smallest, like one of the smallest dicks I've had. It was so skinny. I wanted to pray for it. It was meek is what it was.
Wow.
So yeah, and then we went out to the event, and it was like open bar. So that was horrible after like bottomless mimosas all day. And we went to the Strat. On the Strip, you know, that big tall like building, and there's like a
the Stratosphere. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Spire. I got in a fight, but online for the Spire for the Strat. And then he told me he was Republican, so I was fucking with him, and the whole ride I was yelling, Biden 2020! And he told me that's why he didn't call me. He was like, it's not gonna work out.
I would say the date went pretty well.
It was good. Not a train wreck at all. No.
Just like in the movies.
Yeah. So romantical.
Do Mormons have a rum spriga? Is that the right group?
Oh yeah. Oh no, that's Amish. I did call him Amish, and he was like, "That's a totally different thing." And I was like, Have you seen Kingpin? It's like about this Amish bowler." And he was like, "I'm not fucking Amish."
You're like, same thing.
Very offended, but it's
take your skinny penis and get out of here. Yeah.
Question: you wear the hair extensions?
What'd you say?
You wear the hair extensions while you were having the sex with the Mormon?
No, I didn't even get these yet. I probably would have gone farther with him if I had. He didn't pull my hair or anything. I told him to call me daddy and he came.
Oh boy.
Imagine a hair pull. We wouldn't have gotten anywhere.
This is not a good advertisement for other Mormons.
I want more
I didn't even know
now.
if I was a Mormon. I could have been a Mormon.
You could have
Really?
been. Probably not.
Well, it's gonna be hard to top that, Chablis, honestly. If anyone's been with someone else from a group, an interesting group. Actually, yeah, I had sex with a Pakistani guy and he had a skinny penis too.
Oh.
Very tall. Very tall. But the thing is, I would have, like, off the bat, he was just too skinny. So he was like on top and his hip bones were like digging into me. And I was like, that's the thing. Like, I feel like most women, you prefer a guy that's like, you don't ever think you have to be like in such fit shape, because like a little too much is so much better than kind of skinny. And then the bones, not the bones that you want, are sticking into you, the other bones. And like, yeah,
It's
very
painful.
skinny penis. I was like, I could hula hoop this thing, you know?
I've been getting a lot of skinny peen. I don't know why. I feel like someone's like fucking their voodoo doll of me with like pencils. Like, I don't understand.
No, it probably means you're due for like a fat one, but that's
I'm
probably,
due
You have a big vagina.
it's probably a me and you conversation. Okay. Who's next? AJ.
Me. I would have to go after all of that shit. I kind of got thirsty and I wanted to take a drink while you were talking about skinny Pakistani penises, but I didn't want people to think that I did that too. So I'm just gonna stay parched. But
Stay parched.
never have I ever been skinny dipping.
Well, I couldn't hear that.
Swimming in the nude.
Swimming in the nude, skinny dipping. Everybody.
No.
No.
No, Chablis?
I know.
Too busy fucking Mormons. That's why.
Yeah.
And now I'm in the
The
desert.
skinny cock doesn't like to get wet.
She's like, I'm swimming in skinny penises.
Yeah, that's it. No, I'm in the desert. Now I'm especially parched out here. It's no good. No bueno.
Parched. Yes. Yeah, I've been a bunch of times. Tell the story.
So for me, it was on my honeymoon, and there was like this special secluded island off the resort called Honeymoon Island, and they drop you off there for lunch, and they say it's only going to be you two here until we pick you up. It's completely private and everything.
The drone.
Where was this?
Fiji.
Ooh, fancy.
Right. So I'm out there skinny dipping, and this happens to be the one day of the week that a ship comes in to drop supplies off to the island. So I get caught out there ass naked with a whole boat going by full of people waving.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Oh,
Wait,
that's
I
fun.
thought-
That
Did they
sounds
honk
like
the
fun.
horn?
Yes, they did.
Awesome.
Well, at least she wasn't like bent over a rock or something, you know, like, or maybe she was.
Could have been worse. No.
Yeah, bent over some coral.
She didn't get caught. Only me. I went out again on my own. I was just being overzealous, I guess. So it's my fault.
You were just going fishing with no hands. You were like,
Chumming the water.
you were chumming. Yeah. Ew. I feel
Fish
like
would probably give a good blowy.
no, but if you came into the water, do you think fish would eat that?
Oh man.
Now you
Penis?
got me thinking, like, if I did that, would it? Could the fish get pregnant and have little fish human babies? Like that's
Yeah, that's how mermaids are made.
Change the whole change the whole ecosystem out there.
You come
I
into the
wouldn't-
water and then it's Ariel, like,
I'm scared of some sea creatures. I wouldn't want to get blown by a fish. They got like little jagged teeth and stuff. I'm scared of that type of stuff. So that doesn't sound cool to me.
Not all of them.
Not all.
Barracuda, yeah, but I feel like you'd find a good, because sometimes their expression is so like,
right. Imagine there's like a
and it's
blowfish,
wet.
Yeah, puffer
like
fish.
a blowfish who swims up to you, like, "Hey, daddy," you know.
I got that wop, daddy.
Yeah.
I figured most people would have went skinny dipping because that was something that kind of happened when I was younger and stuff. But I'm half Caribbean, so I was out in Barbados a couple of years ago, and we're on a regular beach, a fully clothed beach, and this dude just pulls up, takes all his clothes off, and he's walking around naked. This old man who clearly lives there. Sort of shocked everybody, like it wasn't a skinny dipping beach. And dude proceeded to do like a full sand bath. Like he rubbed sand into every part of his body.
What?
He's sitting there naked in front of people with kids. People are like, what the fuck? But I guess it's just the island way. But a lot of those old people, the way they keep their skin clean, they do those sand baths.
What is a
It's
sand bath?
exfoliating. That's why.
Yeah, apparently, right? But they do it right in public.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I believe it. But yeah, so that wasn't my skinny
To
dipping,
get the
but
dead
that
skin
shocked me.
off. It's not very sexy, but
Spend
Yeah.
$1 and
We
get a
went from 20
poof.
penises
Use
to-
the poof. That's what the poof is for. I feel like this
No
guy was
doubt.
an exhibitionist.
That's what I'm saying. So it was a bit of a shocker. It was a little more than an innocent sand bath, but fuck it. It's the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I pulled my titties out at the beach recently. Jones, was it Jones? No, it was Jacob Reese. I was also like molested on that beach. It was weird. Anyway, I went back there, pulled my own titties out this time. And I was like with this gynecologist that I was banging. He's got a fat one. This was like a Chipotle burrito. That was good.
Wow.
I know.
This is a lot to
I know.
unpack.
Yeah, his
Unwrap.
girlfriend's a very
I
lucky
know. I'm
woman.
telling
That's what
you,
she
I get a lot
said.
of information. I'd be a voyeur here.
I'm still thinking about the molesting.
You know?
Oh yeah, that was a whole other
Yeah,
thing.
what else?
And then he whispered into your ear, hold the sour cream. Here it comes.
Again, thirsty but don't want to drink.
And
Drink.
then the fish came and ate it.
Yes. But no, I went and I realized that the guy that I went with was only going to this part of the beach because that's where all the chicks took their tops off. And it was like we were on a date, and then all he did was just like talk about bitches' titties all day. It was horrible.
No.
I sat there with my triple D's like, "Ugh," I felt so sad.
You're like, talk about this. Talk about
Talk
these.
about these.
Yeah,
He's
you gotta
checking
be-
out, like B cups in my triple D presence. I felt so stupid.
You got to be with a man for like a minute, like a few months before like you can talk about other people's titties, I think.
No, he was like actively trying to like get numbers, and he drove one of the girls home. It was terrible. Still banged
He's a
him though,
gynecologist.
And this wasn't the molestation?
Oh,
but- No, that's a different story.
Wait, Chablis, you're literally describing the kind of guy who would wear the t-shirt that says, I'm not a gynecologist, but I'll take a look. Like that
No,
sounds
he's
like this
just-
guy.
Yeah, he
or like
yeah.
man legend. That
Yes,
shit.
yeah.
He was one of those guys, and then he was just like really committed to it and actually went to school.
It's like, no, I really am a gynecologist. Come back.
My God.
Yeah, he's a predator, so I don't talk to him no more.
Good.
Good. We live and
Glad to
learn.
hear that.
Okay, Joe.
Again,
Yeah.
Oh, me?
Joe, you're up. You got to follow this.
I know. My story's so lame.
It's going to be great.
Never have I ever embarrassed myself in front of a big celebrity.
oh, embarrass myself in front of everybody.
I'm in front of
Came
him.
damn close.
Okay, who was it?
Okay, I was just out of college, and I made a short film that got into the Garden State Film Festival, and
Humble
at the
brag.
opening cocktail thing, it was like nothing I've ever been to before. I'm just eating everything, and I get like Triscuit crackers in my mouth, and the general manager of the film festival brought over Glenn Close to the group I was at,
Wow.
and like these are the guys that have the Saturday night film, and she goes, nice to meet you, and I said, nice to meet you, and Triscuits just started flying out of my mouth, and I actually saw her jump back, and I just my whole chest got warm, and like nobody would really talk to me like they did before that the rest of the film festival, so it was a quite embarrassing
It
moment.
was more like Glenn Farr after that.
I didn't see her after that. Nobody else was talking.
Oh my God,
God.
that's a
No-
big
no
one.
big dicks in my story. So.
That's a big
You were the
story.
big dick.
I had a weird one with Joe Rogan.
What?
Me too.
Woo.
Did you? Okay. Well, yeah, what happened out here was like I was doing a fun thing on my podcast. Like, okay, we're going to try to get the Joe Rogan interview. And it was sort of like a web series because I've done it before with some other people, and I've actually ended up landing them. So I figured, okay, I'm going to pull up TMZ style. You know, they do it in LA and shit all the time. Why don't I give it a shot? And there was people tweeting him all day long. Why don't you do an interview with this kid? Bah, bah, bah. So he definitely saw it. So I pulled up. People started coming out of the UFC. UFC fighters are pulling down their windows, taking pictures with fans, signing autographs. Finally, Rogan comes out. I was there with a mic and a camera. I'm like, Mr. Rogan, let's get a quick comment. And he was like, nah, man. He just put his hands up. He's like, nope, we're not going to do a comment. And I'm just standing there with a mic. I'm like, come on, bro. Because, like, there's people who I know who are there, like, who just happen to be there.
Your mom's
there's people
there.
filming me. And my mom and my dad are there with a sign and shit.
We love you.
And I was like, come on, bro. But, yeah, he didn't feel like talking. But the video actually ended up more entertaining that way. I'll say that much.
Good for you. It takes
I
balls.
have an embarrassing
Screw
story.
It really takes balls to approach people. Like I was, there was a Back the Blue rally recently, a couple towns over, and I was like, I'm gonna go and talk to people and get really cool content. And I just get there and I was like, I just couldn't. I literally couldn't approach a single person. I like went up to a horse and I was like asking the horse questions. So that takes balls.
I have an embarrassing famous person story. So I went on an audition after my TV show got canceled, and I had horrible conjunctivitis. I looked like that cat lady, you know, the lady that has plastic surgery. That's what I looked like. And I thought I was just going to meet the casting director for like a regular group meet and greet. And I get down to the building, and it's like an old ratty building, and I'm like, what's going on? Because usually when you do a meet and greet with something, when you just meet them in like a big fancy building, and they check to see if they ever want to cast you. And so I get there. And I walk in, and it says Riff Raff Productions on the wall. And I walk in, and all of a sudden, everybody in the room is black. And I go, oh, I'm in the wrong place. And I turn around and I walk out. And then I get down the hall, and I realize I'm not in the wrong place. So now I have to walk back in with my conjunctivitis and sit down with all the black people and not ask them what's going on. And so I sit down, and then this guy comes out who was friends with my old boyfriend, and he's like, Sue, we knew you were going to be here. Come on in and look at my office. I'm the second AD on the movie. And so I'm like, I don't want to talk to this guy because he's my old boyfriend's friend. So I just keep going along with the movie. I'm like, oh, yeah, great. And I go out and I sit down. And then the casting director's assistant comes out. And she's like, Sue, we have to take some pictures of you. I'm like, okay, now they're taking pictures of me with my conjunctivitis. I look like a crazy. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. I can't ask anybody because I just was racist in front of everybody. And so then she comes out and she goes, Sue, Bonnie will see you now. She's in there with Larry, but she wants to see you. So in my head, I go, Larry must be the head of the agency, right? I walk in, and it's the casting director and Lawrence Fishburne in this tiny, tiny room. And I pull my shit together. I go, oh my God, I better get my shit together. What the hell's going on here? And so I'm in there and I'm bullshitting with them. I'm telling him about how my sitcom was about social justice and all this stuff. And he's going, yeah. And Bonnie's like, let's put Sue in the movie. And I have no idea what the movie is because I didn't ask anybody because I was racist, so I couldn't ask anybody. And so I said, so I go, yeah, let's put me in the movie. And so I audition with him cold in the room, and I leave. He goes, you got the part. And so I leave thinking, oh my God, I got to get out of here before he takes it away from me. The Irish Catholic in me was like, I got to get out of here. They're going to take it away. And I get downstairs, and I'm waiting for a cab because I have to go uptown for some other meeting. And all of a sudden I hear, Sue! And I turn around, and it's Lawrence Fishburne. He goes, where you going? Now inside I go, he's asking me where I'm going. I'm like, he wants to give me a ride. And I go, that's Lawrence Fishburne. I want to ride with Lawrence Fishburne. I'm like, but he's probably a downtown guy. I'm like, and I have to go uptown. So I lied and told him I was going halfway to where I was going. And I got in his car, and I had my head like through the seat. And I was like totally bullshitting with my conjunctivitis. And he pulled over halfway to the place I was going. And he's like, all right, see you later, Sue. And I get out of the car, and I have to get a cab because I have to get to the place where I'm going. And the cab pulled up right beside Lawrence's car, and I had to lie down in the back of the car because I was like, he's gonna think I'm an absolute lunatic. And then when I saw him on the set of the movie, I was like, Lawrence, I have to tell you something. I'm like, I thought you were a downtown guy, and I really wanted to ride. He's like, Sue, I was staying at Trump Plaza on 59th Street. So I totally made that whole story for nothing. I'd lie down.
Oh my God, Sue, you always could say I had to like go get tampons really quick. I'm bleeding through my pants. You know what I mean? Nobody will ask questions after that.
You know, yeah, it was so quick though. My whole modus operandi was to get a ride from Lawrence Fishburne. So whatever that's all I was thinking. And I thought he was a downtown guy. So cool.
So racist.
A little bit when I said I'm in the wrong
That's
place.
the real racist part.
I walked right in. I didn't even hide it. I go, oh, I'm in the wrong place. And they weren't going to tell me nothing about the movie. They're like, we ain't talking to her.
Sue, this was like several embarrassing moments in one story.
Oh my God, my whole life is an embarrassing moment. Wait till you hear my Never Have I.
Ooh.
My existence is an embarrassing moment.
Does anybody else have an embarrassing celebrity moment?
I have a couple that I'll make very quick. One was I was at the pit and Paul Sorvino was there.
Skinny dick.
So probably. And I love Goodfellas. That's one of my favorite movies. And I was like, fuck, I really want to say hi to him. So my boyfriend at the time was like, just go up and talk to him. I was like, I don't want to bother him. He's like, just go. So I went up and the only thing I could think of to say was, hi, I really like mobsters and pasta. So stupid. And he just blinked at me and I was like, so can I get a picture? And he said, yeah, and we got a picture. So I felt really stupid after that.
Aww.
And then Mary Tyler Moore, when she was alive, God rest her soul, she lived on the Upper East Side, so I would see her around the neighborhood. I saw her twice. And the first time was when I was like 5 years old. And I knew who she was because my parents are old and they watched TV Land and all that shit. So I ran into her, but she obviously is not the same Mary Tyler Moore in like 2005 that she was in 1975, whatever. And we see her on the street and my dad goes, do you know who this is? You know who this is? And I was like, no. And he said, it's Mary Tyler Moore. And I like looked her up and down. I said, doesn't look like her. So I felt terrible for that. And then I saw her a second time a few years later. I was probably like, I don't know, 17. And I try not to make a big deal when I see celebrities because I feel like if they're nasty to me, it ruins my whole experience of them. I can't watch their show, whatever. So she was sitting around the pond on 72nd Street and I had my hand in the water. I forget who, I think it must have been with a younger kid or something. I don't know why I had my hands in the water. And they were like, oh, Mary Tyler Moore, like she's sitting behind you. And I wanted to play it cool. So like I looked back and I ended up just shooting her like the dirtiest look. Like I just had such an attitude trying to be cool looking at Mary Tyler Moore. And now she's dead. Now I can't even redeem myself.
And now she's dead.
At least there's a silver lining. No, I'm just joking.
Like, I don't recognize you. Can you take your hat off and throw it up?
I know. Hey! Yeah, I know. It's terrible.
I actually forgot to drink because I did have an embarrassing story. Like I've for my whole life been so jealous. Like all these years, like, you know, working and doing comedy in the city, I just never would run into celebrities until I was like, I did improv. It was like a few years in and I saw Josh Groban. Barely even, but he was like across the street, opposite side of the street, and we're walking out and I got so excited to see him because I was like doing improv for all these years, like I'd never seen a celebrity in the city. I got so excited and my brain actually short-circuited. Like I think I just was like, what should I do? Like, how do I say hello or make myself known? I'm so excited. Like, hi would have been nice. How are you? Love your music, whatever. Any of those would have been fine. But what I actually did was started singing one of his own songs at him, yelling at him from across the street. I was like, you raise me up. He was like, oh, she's a crackhead. And I was like, damn. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea, but it was like really fucking embarrassing. And then I had to like duck back into improv.
I saw one crackhead going after Mike Tyson, and he was like, he's going to bite my ear. He's going to bite my ear. And people were like, get the fuck away from Mike Tyson right now before he does a lot worse than that. But this crackhead was going crazy saying he's Evander Holyfield. And like, damn.
Just a regular guy who bites ears. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, leave the guy alone.
And he started singing Josh Groban.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, boy. And I haven't seen him since. All right. Let's see. Jay Nog, do you have one?
I don't even know if I have one, but we'll see.
We can come back to you if you need a minute.
I mean, this, I was trying to think, and this is the only. This is never have I ever stolen from a drug dealer.
No. Oh, hey. Okay.
Accidentally.
Oh, wow. Doesn't count. Wow.
Okay.
That's more than I thought.
It wasn't no heist. Like when you were a freshman in college, you were broke. So like you would be like, instead of getting a 20 bag, you'd be like, I got $16. What can you hook me up with? Like, and then they'd like weigh out like almost, and you'd be like, can you throw? So there was a dude upstairs from us freshman year, and he would deal us weed and just sell us like $12, $9, whatever we needed. And we went up there one time where he told us he was getting like a huge shipment that night. And we went up there and like we were like looking at the weed, and while someone was looking at it, someone just put their hand in the bag and like took a handful out and just shoved in their pocket. And we bought like $7 worth, and then we left and we're smoking, getting high downstairs. And then he knocks on our door and he's like, "Yo, where's my bag?" And we're like, "What are you talking about?" And it turned out when he went to the bathroom, someone stole like the pound bag.
Oh.
And we were like, we didn't do it. And he thought it was us. And I was like looking over my back the whole time. And then like later that night, we're like, I wish we did steal it because it was so easy. Like he's like, I was in the bathroom. I'm like, who doesn't leave their door with a pound in your room? Because we wanted to get high before seeing South Park. You know, that was like the South Park years where you couldn't miss a South Park without being high. So that's my story. Ta-da.
Wow, I love that you just stuck a hand in like it was cheese doodles and just like
well,
took a handful.
it wasn't as aggressive. You just like, you got to get like, all right, I got a little bit. You get like a squirrel claw in there, you know what I mean? Then you just take a little bit, but then he was robbed of the whole thing, and he thought it was us for so long. But we're like, we wish it was us, but it wasn't us.
Who was it? Who could it have been? Another customer?
People knew he dealt weed, and I guess like someone was going to buy weed from him. They turn his doorknob, it's open. You're like, I know he deals weed. You look on the shelf, the bag's right there, and then you just run out of the room.
It's like a movie weed dealer. Like the door's open and shit. Like he's the real deal.
Yeah, real dummy. Pounds ripped off from that night.
Wow.
Yeah, no doubt.
Joey, you robbed a drug dealer? You stole from a drug dealer?
Twice.
Was it you who took the bag?
Did you live in Indian Quad, SUNY Albany?
Yeah. I wish it was more. Yeah. Well, in high school, I sold for a guy, and then I broke Tony Montana's rule number 2, don't get high on your own supply. So one night I snorted all his supply and then had no money left. So had a very long conversation with him. So I stole that. And then
how much was it?
A lot.
And this is cocaine.
Cocaine, yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Like
Well, because you start doing math in your head, you're
terrible.
like, if I have one, I just got to sell one, then I get one. Then you have this math in your head, then the night's over, and you're like, I didn't sell anything, and I'm in trouble.
But I got so much done.
But I got so much done, so much talking done, and no action.
Great conversations.
Yeah, and then one time we were gonna beat drug dealers, so I told my friend, I'm like, just drive up, I'll ask for it, I'll cough, and you take off. And then I get it, and I cough, and he's not moving, and I cough again, and the guy knew we were beating him, so he starts punching me in through the window, and then my friend realized I was coughing, and then he took off. So,
but you were just coughing up blood.
Coughing up blood at that time.
And that's how coronavirus spread.
Sober many years, so those stories are very old.
Oh,
Water.
Oh. Yay. Chablis, did you drink that too?
Yeah, I had my friends from Amsterdam in the city, and the first time I ever did ecstasy was with them in Amsterdam. So I was like, oh, you know what we should do tonight for old time's sake? We should do some Molly. So somebody gave me a number. I'd never bought drugs before. So they gave me the number, and the guy showed up a little while later, and I had like a ball of money in one hand, and then the rest was like in my pocket. And he gave me the drugs real quick and like took the ball of money and was like, all right, thanks. And he starts walking away, and I knew that I owed him money. And I just turned to my friends and I was like, fucking run, like, let's get out of here. And we ran probably like half a mile through the village, and I just blocked the dude's number. And then it would turn out to be really bad Molly anyway.
Wait,
They're
why
like
did
little
you
stars.
have half your money in your pocket and half of it in your hand?
I don't know. You know,
It's a
I don't
weird
know.
drug deal. Weird drug deal. Like here.
But I gave him whatever I had in his hand, and then he just like, all right, thanks. And, you know, because we're doing a drug deal, it's illegal. So he got out of there with the quickness.
You didn't really
And-
rob him. You just gave yourself a discount. That's what that sounded
Yeah, I
like.
gave myself
Yeah.
That shit's on layaway.
Yeah.
It was funny though. It was like,
He wanted
run.
to
I thought
test
he was
him.
gonna
She,
catch us.
she like grabbed him a bulk of cash. And he's like, "This shit's light."
At the end of the story, it sounded like you gave him what it was worth anyway.
I know, exactly.
Like I imagine Chablis, you're like walking up to him, just holding money like this. Like, I am buying drugs.
Is that the Molly in your hand?
Yeah, it was fun though. It was cool. It was like 7 of us running through the streets, like fuck, but we never got caught. And never got high. Sucked.
Okay, never have I ever given a homeless person too much money and then like immediately regretted it.
Man.
Oh, thank God I'm not the only one. Okay, this was actually Monday night. We were doing Wet Spot. We're doing Wet Spot at Compound Media, and like this girl, Brittany Brave, she's a comic. Maybe some of you know her. And she did my show, and she's like so booked, right? Amazingly somehow very booked in this lockdown. But she immediately goes outside to do her next appointment, which was a Zoom. So she's just like next to one of these pull down, metal things. It's like, what is it, 9:30 at night or 8:30 at night, and she's just like zooming up against the thing, and we all walk out and we go, oh, there's Brittany. And there was a guy just like maybe 3 feet away from her, just like standing and watching her. And like I go up to just take video of her because I'm like, oh, it's her, she's doing another thing, like let's ruin it. And I was just like, oh, this guy is just like really hovering, and he was like swaying, and then I weirdly went into like ant mode, and I was like trying to be like protective, and then he comes up to me and he's like, I have terminal cancer, and he pointed to like something on his shoulder, and I was like, I don't know if it's terminal cancer, maybe just get that checked out. I didn't say that. I just was like, I was like, oh no. I was like, just, can you leave my friend alone? And I just pulled out what I had in my wallet, which was a $20 bill. And like, I gave it to him. And then
What did he show you? What did he point to?
He pointed to, God, and this might even be still on my Instagram stories, because I was like filming her, and then he appeared, and I was like,
a picture of
and
his
now
growth.
I'm one of these people who films the unwell while I give them money. He was just like, oh, it was like, there was like a bump right here. He's like, I have terminal cancer. I'm like, well, what could that be? I'm like, maybe it's a tumor. I don't know. Maybe it was just, I don't know.
He burnt himself with an ashtray.
Yeah. It could have been like a childhood scar. You know what I mean? He's just like, he just has like a really good story. And I panicked, and I was like, oh, something. I'm like, just don't stop bothering her. She's doing a Zoom, and it was like $20. And then I was like, yeah, I probably could have used that money for dinner.
Pay to do $20 to walk away, essentially.
Yeah, I was like, just don't bother her anymore. And then so he walked away from her, and then we all went to Sullivan's across the street. So I'm not even kidding. Like an hour later, the same dude came up to us, because it's all outdoor dining, right, or outdoor drinking. Comes up to us, same dude, asks us for money. I was like, I just gave you $20. I was so mad. I'm like yelling at him, but like only emboldened by the fact that there's like 3 dudes around, and like a bunch of girls, but mostly like there's dudes that are like taller and standing up. So I was like, now I can mouth off. But I really was pissed that I had just given him $20. And I was like, did you spend it already? You got to put that in a 401k, buddy. I was so, whatever.
It would have been great. He's like, what are you talking about? I have $10. And you grabbed it, and you're like, thanks for the change. And then
I don't know. Whatever. And I'm like, I should just let it go. But clearly I'm unable.
That's kind of similar to mine, actually. Out here where I live, we have, I think, the 2nd largest mall in the world. So you got a lot of weird people.
In Canada, right?
Yeah, Edmonton, Canada. There's actually a comedy club here, Rick Bronson's Comic Strip. So yeah, you get a lot of comedians coming through that mall, but also a lot of crazy people. So this dude comes up to me when I'm in line for food. He goes, hey man, you think you could maybe give me a couple dollars? I said, you know what? I guess I will. If you're hungry, you're obviously in the food court. So I gave him $5. He sort of walked away. Then he comes back up to me. He goes, hey man, you think you could buy me a meal? And I was like, well, I just gave you $5. Why don't you go get like a teen burger at A&W or something? He's like, well, I just kind of wanted something better. And I was like, bro, I literally just gave you $5. So then I actually ended up going, for some reason I was in A&W, maybe getting a milkshake or some shit after I ate. And then I hear somebody asking the person behind me for money. And I turn around and it's this guy. And he's actually ended up asking my barber, who I didn't know was behind me. So I look and I see my barber getting asked for money. I go, don't give that guy money. I just gave him $5 and he's not buying food. He's walking around. So yeah, you got a lot of that shit. But it's funny how the guy was brazen enough to go up to the person you were with again. It's like they always do that. They're brazen, you know?
Well, to his credit, we probably all look alike, you know? Like, it's just...
Who?
I'm like, me and my friends, like, well, everyone on Compound Media, like, we're all, like, although they were brunette girls. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe he wasn't in the right mind. But that's annoying. I was wondering if you were going to say that your barber was like, no, but I'll give you a free haircut. Come by tomorrow.
Yeah, seriously. Groom him up.
Yeah.
Mine was $5 too, and I'm happy he told his story first because I felt guilty about saying $5 was too much to give to a home.
$5 is too much. I really panicked,
but it wasn't just because it was $5. I got upset because after I gave it to him, he pulled like a knot out of his pocket and like wrapped my $5 around it. He had more money in his pocket than I had at that.
Whoa.
He's like a church taking.
I'm like, you need to give me some money back, motherfucker. This is old guy. I used to see him all the time on the 1 train. I used to get on at 59th Street. And around like the holidays, he's always singing Christmas carols and stuff. And it was entertaining. It made me laugh. It made me smile. So I gave him a $5. And the way I justified it after that was I would see him all the time. So I'm like, every time I see him and I don't give him money, I'm getting my money's worth from the last time I gave him the $5.
Like a jukebox. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just put a 5. Yeah, 20. I'm really upset about $20. That was really like
I gave
lapse.
$20 too, Chrissy. Don't worry about it.
That's like multiple meals. That's like, that could be half of groceries.
But I had a guy ask me for 10 and I gave him 20, Chrissy.
Where was that?
That was when I first moved to New York. This guy stopped me in the street and he was like, hey, listen, I had my photography stuff and it's on the Upper East Side. I was on like 25th Street. He's like, it's on the Upper East Side and I left it in the lobby of my mother's apartment and I need to go get it before somebody steals it. And he's like, I need $10 so I can get to the Upper East Side. And I go, oh, you're going to need to get back. And it was another embarrassment.
What a complicated backstory this guy had.
I go, you're going to need 20 because you're going to need to get back down. And I gave him $20 and he gave me a number to call the next day. I called the number the next day. It didn't work. And I stayed in my tub for a week. I was so devastated. It was like my intro to New York City. Like, I couldn't believe that somebody would lie to me. Not like that. I was so embarrassed that I gave him 20. He asked me for 10. My boyfriend at the time was like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, well, I figured he had to get back downtown. He's like, Sue, that story wasn't true.
So he was a downtown kind of guy.
He was a downtown kind of guy. I'm going uptown.
Oh, I just thought of another one too. This was also $5. A couple of years ago, I'm down in Midtown, and this lady, she comes up to me and she's like, hey, I have a newborn. I'm just trying to buy some formula. Anything you can give.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, it tugged on my heart. It was such a sad story and everything. And she's like, oh, all these other filthy guys out here, if I'm asking for money, they're like, what are you going to do for it, honey? And I'm just like, don't worry about that. I'm not.
You're like, don't worry, just a hand job.
And on it.
So also, I give her $5 and she goes, do you know how much formula is? What am I supposed to do with this?
Oh my God.
Wow. And she's she's pressing me to get more. I'm like, look, take the $5, go away. That's
why she's not breastfeeding. It's free.
Yeah, your titties are free.
Because heroin costs more than $5. That's why.
At 12 feet.
Yeah.
Heroin milk.
She got me, Jay.
Damn. Yeah, you should have squeezed her boob and been like, you're not even lactating. You didn't even have a baby.
You should have cried. It would have made it lactate. If you started crying like a baby.
Wow. These homeless are crafty. And some of them are probably not even homeless. They probably just have good confidence.
They're better actors than us.
Yeah.
I
wish I had confidence.
And he we saw him like a few blocks from my apartment. I hadn't seen him before. And I had this like really white, like see-through clear boyfriend. It was like preppy and like obviously like has white guilt. You know
clear?
What I mean?
He's clear?
He's like my chair. Did you see my chair?
Yeah, it's lucite. That's like hooker shoes.
Right now.
Yeah.
You just can't see him. And so like me and my mom, like we lived in Harlem, whatever. And the Spanish dude comes up and he's like, oh, excuse me, I'm having hard times, this and that. And he whips out a 20 like nothing and just like, here, man, no problem. And like gave it to him. So we like go out and then we come back and he's like sitting on my stoop, just hanging out. He's like friends with my neighbors. And it was just like this awkward moment because here we were thinking, oh, like he's a homeless guy or something. And then it's like, oh, you're just hanging out on the stoop. Like, you're just a bum. Got it. Cool.
Wow.
Thanks.
How awkward.
I know. I was like, why did you give
Shameless.
him $20? You could have given him $5. And he was like, it's fine. You know, he's a nerd. So he's never been approached. He's like from Massachusetts. He doesn't know.
Imagine if it was your neighbor. You gave him $20 and you won't mark it in. You're like, oh my God, this person lives here.
I know. The dude was just hanging.
Can you just
Like a normal
get my
dude.
mail for me? Something? Yeah. Sign for a package? Yeah.
Oh, it was awkward. Then I kept seeing him and I was like, you motherfucker. Like, you owe me $20.
It happens all the time in New York. I remember standing on 6th Avenue outside of Sirius one day, and this guy had a blind cane, and he had like a to-go, like a Chinese to-go package, just holding it under his arm. And this guy in a suit walked by, and he banged into him, and he dropped all the food all over the street. And I was like, oh, and the guy takes the money out and gives it to him. The guy picks his stuff up, puts it back in the thing, takes his cane again, and someone else does it 2 seconds later. I was like, oh.
That's a great gimmick.
You guys want to beat the shit out of homeless people?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Wow.
Oh, they're better actors than us. They're hustling.
Wow.
I don't even need an OnlyFans. I just got to carry around a bag of food.
There you go, and just drop it.
Yeah.
All of these guys could get jobs at Impractical Jokers, I think.
They're like any criminal. If they just use their smarts for the good, they'd be doing fine. But,
Yeah.
you know.
Your food had pubes in it before it fell on the ground.
Yeah. At what point does somebody realize that the chicken fried rice is full of gravel and dirt more so than rice and actual ingredients?
Hey, this is chicken fried mice.
Yeah.
Okay, who hasn't gone yet? Who's been quiet?
Me, I haven't done my never have I ever.
Okay.
Never have I ever gone to an audition where I questioned my sexuality.
No.
I'm the only one?
Why did it take an audition?
Well, because it was a clusterfuck of things that happened together that made me question it. So I went
Was
to
it-
therapy.
With Lawrence Fishburne?
No, Lawrence Fishburne wasn't there.
Room full of black people.
This time, room for Latino people.
No, there was none of that, but it's probably more embarrassing than the first story. So a lot of this happened when I first moved to New York, because you get culture shock when you move. Like Boston, everybody was the same, and then you move to New York and everything's totally different. So all your insecurities come out. So anyway, so I went to the gay parade because I wanted to broaden my horizons. And I went to the gay parade and I cried. And so then I went to therapy, and I'm telling you, if you have something big to talk to your therapist about, you have to tell them in the beginning, because if you wait till the end, it's not good. So I was afraid to tell her that I cried at the gay parade because I thought she was going to tell me that I was gay. But I waited until the end of the session, and I said, by the way, I went to the gay parade and I cried. And she goes, oh, time's up, but we're going to have to talk about that next week. And she totally ripped open all my insecurities. I was like, why did she say it like that? Why did she say we're going to have to talk about it next week? Oh my God, she must know. So now I have this neurosis. So I walk down the street. It's when payphones were still around. And I call my service and I get an audition. And I get an audition for Pat Sweeney. And right away, at the time, it was when It's Pat, the asexual person, was on Saturday Night Live. There was a character called It's Pat. And
Oh, yeah.
She was a boy or a girl. And she wore her pants up to hair and like had an afro and glasses. And Julia Sweeney played her. And so I got that, and that mixed with me thinking that I was gay. I thought they were calling me for an audition for It's Pat from Saturday Night Live. So I went home and I cried so hard, and I was like, how did they get a call for It's Pat? And they think, oh, Sue Costello will be perfect for that. And then I talked myself out of it. I got up off the floor from crying. I was like, I'm going to be the best fucking Pat they've ever seen. I'm going to dress like Pat. I'm going to get on the bus, and I'm going to be in character before I get there. So I pulled my pants all the way up to here. I put the thing on, the glasses. I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? That's how she talked. And then I went into the audition dressed like that, like completely committed. And there were boys and girls in the audition. And I was like, of course, because you can't tell if Pat's a boy or a girl, so it doesn't matter. And I was acting like, oh, hi, oh, I'm so nervous. And everybody was giving me that look, like I looked like a weirdo, but I thought they were jealous. And so then the casting director calls me, and she's like, Sue Costello, and I walk in, I'm like, oh, hi, oh, I'm so nervous, oh, hi. And the casting director ran to the corner of the room and pointed at me like I had a disease. And she's like, "Can you stand over there?" And I still didn't pick up on it. I was still committed. And she's like, "Listen, I need you to sit down." And as soon as she said sit down, you know how when you're doing something and all of a sudden you realize that something's terribly wrong, but I didn't want to let it completely in my body. And I went, "Sit down." I go, "Isn't this going to ruin my character?" And she goes, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I go, "Oh my God."
Oh no.
"Is this an audition for Pat Sweeney?" She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Pat Sweeney's the casting director." I go, "Oh, I thought this was an audition for It's Pat because Julie Sweeney plays Pat." She's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" She's like, "This is an audition for a Goldie Hawn lookalike."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Let me guess, you still got it. Wow, that's an epic misunderstanding.
Yeah, that's horrific. It's Pat. Yeah, so I thought that's what they wanted, but it was all because I thought I was gay. Turns out I'm not gay though.
Moral of the story is Sue walks into every audition with assumptions.
But I've gotten a lot of them.
Yeah.
But I've also gotten a lot of them. I flipped out on my fighter audition. I almost fucking flipped the table over and I got in the movie The Fighter. This is how I audition. I go all in.
Good for you.
Awesome or it's horrifically embarrassing.
Oh my God. JT, I don't know if you're going to top that.
We'll see. Never have I ever had sex with a mask on.
Like a Halloween mask or
No, Corona mask.
Corona mask? No.
Yes,
No. Anyone?
Oh wow, look at you. Did you just have like unbreaking eye contact?
We did doggy style for a bit.
Wow.
Yeah,
Was
so
she-
basically, was she what?
Was she wearing it too?
Yeah, we were both wearing masks.
Okay, that's kind of kinky.
Yeah. And this person may or may not be sitting in front of me right now.
Oh, hey, turn the camera around.
Gloves too.
Reenact it.
Okay, so basically this was I'm sorry, I'm going to talk about it.
It's hot. It's all good.
So this was a Hinge date that we ultimately, this was maybe April or so.
Oh.
But yeah, so we ultimately decided that we wanted to have sex, but we were going to be safe about it. So we, wore masks.
And didn't use a condom.
No.
I wanted to be safe, but it's
Priorities.
supposed to feel good.
Yeah, and didn't wear condoms. No, we wore condoms. But we also fucked on a rooftop just to be a little bit more safe and not like.
Oh my
Good
God.
air.
And 6 feet apart because my dick is that long. Wow, that's awesome. Good for you
Good
for getting
times.
out in that early COVID that was like real serious lockdown time. April was like legit. Everyone was really scared still.
Maybe like,
Wow.
maybe late April, but yeah.
Good for you.
That is like true safe COVID sex right there.
And I only risked my career with my auditions. He just risked his relationship for his career. So let's.
No, that's so hot. I think it's like if somebody wants you so bad, they're like, they think they're going to risk their health just to have sex with you. That means more.
I think
Whose
so too.
phone is ringing?
I'm sorry. It's a guy who likes me.
Is it Lawrence Fishburne?
Yeah.
Not
You
bad.
guys,
I don't know how to shut the phone off.
You
and
could
have
answer
fun.
it. You could have talked to him.
I know. Then what would happen?
on
You
the
would have talked to
Zoom?
him about if he wanted to have sex with me with a mask on.
Is this a new, how long have you had sex with this guy who just called
Not
you?
yet.
Not yet. So you also met this guy during lockdown.
No, I've known this guy, but he lived in LA. And then he
Ugh,
moved to LA. I was
LA.
supposed to meet him. And then he went to another part of the country. And not.
Is it Joe Rogan?
Yes, we're going to moderate the presidential debate together.
Is
Right,
it Ben
so
Shapiro?
secretive.
I'm just going to name everyone who's moved out of LA recently.
You guys, I think I have to go.
Oh, Chablis.
On the way back.
All right. Well, we're going to go another 4 minutes so we complete a full hour. Chablis, where can people find you, follow you, support you? Do you still have an OnlyFans?
I do. You got to message me privately for the link because you know my baby daddy's crazy. So want him in my business. You can follow me on Instagram at Foxy Shabs. Shab is with a C. I don't really use Twitter. You can follow me on Facebook. I post more on Facebook than anything. Chablis Quaterman. And yeah.
You were awesome, Chablis. Your stories were so funny. Thank you for coming on.
I miss you. Thanks for having
I miss
me.
you.
Thanks for work today.
Bye,
So it
Chablis.
won't happen.
Aw.
And it's good to see all you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Aw, now somebody else has to go in their bathroom.
Yeah.
Going.
Fill the void.
Yeah, we gotta fill the void. I like the sort of like echo of the bathroom.
I want to know what the fans only is. I don't know what it is.
Only
The
fans?
fans
What
only.
is it?
Fans only. It's like my grandma asked me just now.
Look it up on the Google.
Yeah, I am your grandma.
It's where entrepreneurs go to make money.
To show their pussy.
Oh, yeah. That's all you can. That's it. That's
No,
it?
there's people. You don't have to be naked to be on there. There's musicians on there. There's comics on there. But it's like a Patreon, but for like being naked, I guess.
So, oh my God! Don't even tell me because I'll be doing that. I'll be doing a naked stand.
Do it. We all need
You're on the wrong
multiple
place.
multiple income streams.
I'll be like, "See, you're at the wrong place. This is not fans only. This is."
Joe, what's the link to your OnlyFans?
No, I don't have one.
Okay. Who has anyone knock on yet?
I haven't gone.
Oh my God! Please go.
Okay. So I was thinking about it. Never have I ever had an Airbnb horror story. And I think we can apply hotel potentially if you'll allow it.
Oh yeah, allowed.
So I'm going to drink a huge sip right now.
Oh my God! No, can't think of anything.
I'm the only one.
You're the only one.
Not a
Yeah.
horror story.
That shit doesn't
Horror
fly in US of A,
No.
baby. Talk
Yeah.
that crazy Canada shit.
Seriously, well, I think that was my problem is because I had no experience as to where I was going from Canada. So I went down to a music festival in Miami, and I ended up getting an Airbnb in Miami Gardens by the big stadium out there, which is like a real rough area. And I had no clue. So I thought I was just going to Miami. So I'm picturing palm trees, people walking around. As we're walking, all of a sudden I can tell I'm in the deep hood, and the taxi driver looks into the rear view. He goes, "Do you live here?" Because he's like confused. And I was like, "No, I'm from Canada." He goes, "Canada?" And I just saw his whole demeanor just change. Like his face dropped. He's like, "What the fuck is this dude doing here?" And I'm watching shit get worse and worse. You know, it's new to me. So we pull up, and I'll never forget, this dude legit waited until I got the door code off my phone and got into the house to leave. Because I'm like, bro, like, you're scaring the shit out of me. So then I go into this place. It's like some creepy house full of cockroaches. And all night there's vehicles pulling into the driveway. A random vehicle will pull into the driveway for 3 minutes and then leave. 10 minutes later, another vehicle. And it just happened.
Neighborhood
all night.
watch.
Yeah,
Maybe
either
it's
that or-
neighborhood watch.
I think it was just the cab driver in different cars checking up on me, and he didn't want me to know, you know, making sure I was cool. But no, that was a bit of a horror story. We had to run from the roaches and terrible neighborhood. But
Should have just told everybody you were Ricky Martin.
yeah, there you go. That's really the moral of the story.
Dun, 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 dun. Wow, Canada. What's that like?
Cold.
Boring. I can't
Oh.
wait to move to Las Vegas.
Really? Oh, that's where Chablis lives. That's where my sister lives.
That's why he's going there.
Yeah.
Yes. I made up my mind
Dick number
tonight.
4.
No. Yeah, for real.
Yeah. Hit up Chablis OnlyFans. Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh for sure. No, I'm gonna live out there. Yeah, you know, it's just it's cool because this is a city where, like I said, we have the Rick Bronson Club. So I worked at that club for quite a while. So I got to meet a lot of headliners from the States. So I don't feel as isolated as maybe some people do.
Yeah, you just need to know like a couple people.
Yeah.
And if not, you'll meet them on Hinge.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay. Joe, did you go yet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jay went. AJ went. Does anyone have another one? If not, oh, we just hit an hour. Do we have one more? Let me think.
I got something.
Okay.
Never have I ever whipped a white boy on stage.
What the whip?
whipped a white boy on stage?
Yep.
I don't think I've done that
No,
yet.
I don't think.
Jay-
But I'd
Jay-
like to. I'd like to do that.
It's on my vision board.
So this is a couple years back. I'm doing Jay's show, Pay to Pain. We were at Comics Club
I remember this.
at the casino, and I was judging the show actually, and one of the contestants, some younger, just New England white kid, open micer, he's doing horrible racist jokes about black people. The crowd hates him, and he's looking over at me every time he does it. And then when it comes time to judge him after the set, I'm all pissed off. But Marty Caproni, he's one of the other judges.
I love Marty.
Marty had my back. He laid into this guy the whole time, right? And then so it comes time for him to get paid. Obviously, they didn't vote for him to get paid. So the card that he drew was to get flogged with the whip by the house dominatrix. But Marty goes, "Yo, we should let AJ do it." And the whole crowd is going crazy, like, yeah. So they give me the whip, and I'm just, I got like 10 lashes. And I'm just,
wow. Did it hurt him?
oh yeah. In the beginning, you could tell like he was trying to front like it wasn't really phasing him. So like the first 2 or 3, he's like really staying tough. But by the time I got to like the second half, you could see the red marks on his back.
That shit hurts.
I was
Hurts me more than it hurts you.
Was his
It's
butthole
just for
bleeding?
my ancestors.
Oh my God. Wow, that sounds pretty
Good
cool.
time. Good time.
Good times.
Now imagine that was the opposite of a never have I ever. They're like, we're going to sign off right now. And
Awkward.
Yeah, awkward. That was good. That was good, guys. I think we all had fun. All right. We could leave off on that note. We can handle it, right? Let's go
on a
around.
whipping.
Let's go around. Let's leave off on a whipping. Let's go around the Zoom room. Where can people find you, follow you, support you? AJ.
All platforms, AJ Foster Comedy. So Twitter, Instagram, you can find me on Facebook, AJ Foster Comedy. It's also on my website and all that good stuff. No OnlyFans, so you'll just have to do with my boring Instagram posts.
Not yet, at least. Sue Costello.
Not that desperate.
You can find me on Twitter, where I tweet in my Boston accent at Sue Costello. On Instagram at I am Sue Costello. On Facebook, Sue Costello. And I do my show live at 5.
Yes, check out that show. Cassius.
I'm on all social media at Cassius Show and at Cassius Morris, CASSIUS if you can't spell it. And yeah, the Cassius Morris Show podcast on all platforms.
Good shit. Joe Fernandes.
At Joe Fernandes on all social media, and buy my album or stream it, Impossible Human.
And that's Fernandes with an S.
Fernandes with an S.
Not a Z. J Nog.
At Jaynog for everything JAYNOG. I am taping a special at Bel Air Diner October 3rd at 9 o'clock. So put blanket. It's going to be like tailgating for a football game, but come on out. It should get crazy. October 3rd, Bel Air Diner.
And that's like, you can honk and like honking is laughing.
No honking there, just flashing the brights, because the time people honked and the cops came, it was a pain in the ass.
Oh my God, you can't even honk anymore.
We're gonna good outdoor crowds. We had like 30 people sitting outside last show, so it was good.
Ooh, that sounds great. JT Anderson.
You can follow me on Instagram at JTCanShoot.
Yes, guys, this was so great. So much fun. Thank you
I
so
see
much.
your pictures all over Instagram. I see the face to the pictures now. You take good pictures, dude.
Oh yeah, he's really good. I've been a fan of his for years.
Those fuckers will book me and then you can take a picture of me.
Follow me at Chrissie Mayer, CHRISSIE MAYR. I am going to be doing my first headlining show in a long ass time. October 21st. You can find me at Tiff's Ale House in Morris Plains, New Jersey. That show's at 8:30. Mike Figs is featuring. Ticket link is not available yet, but I will post it when it is. Guys, thank you so much for doing Never Have I Ever. This will be out Saturday.
Thank
This will be out Saturday. I'll tag everybody.
Thank you.